Hello, BookTube. Well, it's day 6 of the 2016 BookTube-athon, and the challenge for today is to read a book and watch its movie adaptation. And in keeping with the spirit of BookTube, I thought I would make mine a YA choice. And I went for a beloved item, that is Lois Lowry's 1993 Newbery Award-winning novel, The Giver, in which a little boy named Jonas is living in a future society in which all color has been leached away, all conflict has been leached away, in which almost all personhood has been leached away because strong emotions have been leached away. And the founders of this community, when they were recovering from the ruin that almost destroyed the old world, decided that rather than completely do away with those strong feelings and those memories and those emotions, they would lock them up in one person. There would be a keeper. There would be a repository, a human repository of those memories. The rest of society would do without them and the problems that they caused. The rest of society would have no status, no wealth, no envy, no conflict, no war. But just in case something went wrong, they would have one person who has all of that information, who gets to keep books, the only person who does, who gets to remember love and hate, and who gets to lie. And in order to keep that job open, they have instituted, when children come of age and are assigned their lifetime roles, someone is always chosen to learn to be the new keeper of those memories. And that's what happens in this book. A boy named Jonas is chosen to apprentice with the Giver, an old man who will slowly train him and transfer those memories to him. And I reread the book for this challenge, and I was charmed all over again by it. It is a small, gentle, charming book. It's easy to see why it's been venerated by an entire generation of readers, because at its heart, the relationship that is dramatized by Jonas and the Giver is the relationship that we have all either had or dream of having with the perfect teacher. And I enjoyed it. In fact, this is the third time I've read it. I've enjoyed it a little more each time. The prose is sort of pokey, sort of comfortable, and it moves along, at a nice, even pace to the end. And by the time you're done, you've been given a touching parable about learning and about the sort of tastelessness of conformity. It's a very good YA book for kids at the right age to read, at the Newbery Award age to read. And of course, that brings us to the second part of this challenge, which is the movie adaptation. Now, I chose, of course, there was just recently one. This is Philip Noyce's 2014 adaptation, starring Meryl Streep, Jeff Bridges, and a 5-pack-a-day tobacco addict from Australia named Brenton Thwaites. And if you've been watching this channel, you can guess what I'm going to say. The 2014 movie is in every single measurable way, aside from sentiment, an infinitely superior product, dramatically speaking, than the book. The book has virtually no dramatic tension. It has virtually no forward momentum in the plot. There's virtually nothing at stake that isn't just purely bloodlessly ideological. It's a Aesop's fable. The movie heightens all of that intensely. There are good guys and bad guys in a much starker way. Also, the protagonist, Jonas, and his friend Fiona are not children anymore. They're young adults. They're teenagers. The Giver is not quite so old and decrepit. He's younger and more emotional, more invested in his task. And Meryl Streep as the chief elder, it's a wonderfully layered performance. Actually, her performance and Jeff Bridges' are both wonderfully layered. there's a scene at the very end of the movie when Fiona is going to be sent elsewhere. She's going to be ritually murdered, and she has now seen enough to know what's going on, and is given a wonderful scene where she just keeps repeating, "I have felt things. I have felt them." But it looks like, I mean, Jonas is off in the wilderness with the baby and is racing towards the outside where he might find like-minded free people. And in the movie, as in the book, it's hoped that his reaching the outside will release a flood of memories and color back into the lives of all the people back in the community and save them. But in the movie, there's a great scene at the end, right as Fiona is about to be executed, when the chief elder is talking with the giver, and there is no shouted histrionics. It's just two old friends, old enemies, sitting in chairs across from each other, quietly and urgently discussing their positions. The one in favor of order and sanity, even at the cost of individuality, and the other in favor of unpredictability that comes with emotion, with love, with hate. It's a wonderful scene, and it's not the only wonderful scene in the movie. The memories that the giver imparts to Jonas are incredibly more vivid when filmed. An elephant that's been killed by poachers, a sunlit wedding, babies being born, walking through fields at sunset, war. It's all immensely more immediate in a movie, of course, than it would be in a book. Especially a book written for children. You can't really, if you're doing the scene in which Jonas experiences war for the first time and it very nearly breaks him, if you're writing a book for children, you can't really slip into Norman Mailer for that scene and then slip back out again. Your parents would egg your house. So I guess what I'm saying is that the book is not just temperamentally but also structurally limited in its own ability to tell its own story, and those limits don't exist for the movie. And I also have to point out, I didn't ever think I would think this, but Brendan Thwaites actually does a very creditable job. It makes me want to see him in Gods of Egypt, that movie that I had just dismissed as a CGI extravaganza. Now I want to see if he can actually do something with that role. So I did the challenge. I read a book with a wide open mind and saw a whole bunch of stuff in it that I hadn't seen the last time and liked. Undimmed affection for Lois Lowry's book, The Giver. But Lois Lowry's book, The Giver, has flaws, big ones. Mainly its lack of drama. If you are not coming to it already caring about its subject, the book will not make you care. The movie, I then watched for the first time. I found it on Netflix, and it has none of those flaws. It's far more gripping, far more immediate, and every bit as intelligent, and also respectful to its source material. So the ongoing debate that happens here on this channel about movie and book adaptation continues unabated. This challenge has not put it to bed. Actually, while I was thinking about this, I remembered that I filmed an entire other video on this subject and just forgot to upload it. So I will do that later today. Even though it will encourage some of you who have been emailing me saying, well, it looks like during the BookTube-athon we're getting 2 videos a day. Is that going to stay true? One person actually wrote, just a trifle tactlessly, you don't have anything else to do. I know I give that impression, but I actually have writing to do, which doesn't do itself, even for me, but I get the point. But anyway, whether or not it's the future, I will certainly post that other video, but I wanted to wrap up this day's challenge by recommending this movie. If you've seen the trailer for it or seen posters for it and thought, oh, they're just trying to cash in on the Hunger Games craze, they're taking this old beloved book and making a dystopian YA action thriller out of it, introducing a love affair where there wasn't any before. No, the movie is more intelligent than that, and also more graceful than that. It's well done, worth your time, and that's it. That is my my day 6 challenge for the BookTube-athon, and I'll see you tomorrow for the grand finale. Thank you, BookTube.